On a misty morning in the mountains of Iga, the old ninja elder sits in his cabin, surrounded by the serenity of pine trees that whisper stories of the past. A young apprentice, eager for wisdom, approaches and sits beside him. The elder, with deep and calm eyes, begins to tell a story that is not found in any scroll, but is known to all who have faced the true battle within. Long ago, the elder begins, there was a man riding a wild horse. The animal was running with all its strength, galloping aimlessly. Another man, standing by the roadside, shouted, "Where are you going?" The rider, desperately clinging to the reins, replied, "I don't know. Ask the horse." The young apprentice furrows his brow, trying to grasp the meaning of the story. The elder, sensing his confusion, explains, "This horse represents the habits and emotions that control us. Many of us are like that rider, driven by forces we do not understand and unable to control." The elder continues, "Just as the rider is led by the horse, we too are carried by our habits and impulses. We run endlessly, always searching for something, but without knowing exactly what. This cycle becomes a habit, and we get lost in it, like a leaf drifting in a turbulent river. For a ninja, this lack of control is unimaginable. We must learn to stop, to master our inner horse, and to reclaim our freedom. The mind," the elder continues, "is like the sky before a storm. When a strong emotion strikes us, it is as if dark clouds form, bringing lightning and thunder that disturb our peace. Many try to escape this inner storm by turning on the TV, picking up a book, or distracting themselves in other ways. But deep down, they are not truly present. They are beside their loved ones, but their minds are 1,000 miles away. They walk without really walking, live without truly living." The young apprentice, hearing this, begins to realize how often he too has been a prisoner of this wild horse of habits. "To calm this storm," says the elder, "we must stop the horse and regain control. The question arises, how can we calm the mind? How can we stop the fear, despair, anger, and desires that consume us?" The elder pauses, letting the silence echo through the mountains as the young apprentice reflects on these questions. The answer, the elder reveals, is simple but powerful. We must practice mindful breathing, mindful walking, and deep contemplation. When we focus on our breathing, on each step we take, we begin to connect with the present moment. And in that connection, we find the fruits of understanding, acceptance, love, and joy. For a ninja, every breath and every movement is done with full attention, for a ninja's life depends on it. When an intense emotion invades us, the elder continues, it is like facing a dangerous opponent. We know that acting impulsively can be fatal, but we may lack the clarity and strength to refrain. We must learn the art of breathing, of stopping, of rooting ourselves like a sturdy tree in the midst of the storm. This way, we avoid being swept away, maintaining our stability. The elder then shares what he learned in his years of training. The great Master Buddha left us techniques to calm the body and mind, and to see the present situation in its entirety. These techniques can be summarized in 5 stages: recognition, acceptance, embracing, deep observation, and insight. The first step is recognition. If we are angry, for example, we must recognize that anger within us. Next, the elder continues, comes acceptance. When we are angry, we must not deny that anger. Instead, we must accept it as part of us. Listening to and understanding our internal suffering is essential, as it resolves many of the conflicts we face. The third stage is embracing. We must embrace our anger like a mother embraces a crying child. Our mindfulness, like a mother's arms, can calm the emotion, bringing us peace. After calming down, says the elder, we can observe deeply to understand the cause of our emotion. Just as a ninja analyzes the movements of his opponent, we must analyze what is truly behind our anger. Finally, we reach insight. This insight is the fruit of our deep analysis, giving us clarity about the primary and secondary causes of our suffering. Only then can we act wisely. Perhaps, suggests the elder, the anger arose because something hurt us, like an invisible pin pressing on our mind. Or maybe, like a baby's cry, Our anger is a response to the pain of someone close, like a friend who spoke harshly to us because they were going through great pain. When we can see beyond the surface, we achieve the understanding that allows us to transform the situation. The Ninja Elder then concludes: recognition, acceptance, embracing, deep observation, and insight. These are the 5 stages to calm the body and mind. Through constant practice, you will learn to care for what happens within you and around you, just as a ninja takes care of every detail in a mission. The young apprentice, now wiser, feels the serenity that comes from mastering his own emotions. The elder slowly rises, and before saying goodbye, he stops and looks into the apprentice's eyes. In a deep and experience-laden tone, he says, "This is my story. A story of invisible battles that we all face. A story of inner conquest that now belongs to you as well." With these words, the elder shares one final reflection. When we are fully aware, deeply connected with the present moment, our understanding deepens. We begin to be filled with acceptance, joy, peace, and love. Always remember, young apprentice, that the only time we have is now. The present is the only time we have control over. Today, we are often driven by the rush, by the habits we do not question, and by the emotions that seem to control us. Just like the rider in the story, many of us are being led by an uncontrollable horse. But as the Ninja Elder teaches, we can stop, breathe, and observe. By practicing recognition, acceptance, embracing, deep observation, and insight, we find the path to inner peace. Mastering the mind is the true art of the modern ninja, allowing us to face daily challenges with calm, clarity, and wisdom. The elder turns to the apprentice with a knowing smile. "Young one, this is just the beginning. Each battle you win within leads to a new challenge, deeper understanding, and greater strength. Until then, remember, every breath you take is a step toward mastery. Stay alert, remain vigilant, and prepare for the next journey. The path of the ninja is infinite, and the wisdom you seek is always one step ahead." The elder bows slightly, and as the apprentice nods in agreement, he turns to you, the viewer. And to you who watches and listens, know that you are also part of this journey. Join us in the next lesson, and together, we will continue to walk the path of wisdom.